Every morning, we wake up believing we're in control. We choose what to wear, what to eat, where to go, and what to say. But what if I told you? Most of these choices were never really yours. There's a hidden force inside your brain that loves to pretend it's in charge, even when it's not. And this illusion, this beautiful lie, shapes how you live, work, and even how you love. This is the story of one man who learned the hard way that control is the most seductive illusion of them all. Meet Ayaan, 31 years old, an engineer by profession, but a creature of habit by design. Every morning, at exactly 7:13, his alarm rings. He sits up, stretches once, and then touches the wooden headboard 3 times. He wears the same pair of socks every Monday. He walks the same route to work, never crossing the street until the traffic light hits number 7. To an outsider, his life looks peaceful, structured, disciplined, maybe even admirable. But deep down, it isn't discipline that drives him. It's fear. Because somewhere in his past, Ayaan learned that control meant safety. When things got messy, when people disappointed him, when life felt unpredictable, his routines became his armor, the only walls that didn't crumble. But those walls were built on illusion. Psychologists call it the illusion of control. It's our brain's trick, convincing us that we can influence outcomes that are actually random. It's the reason gamblers believe the next spin will be lucky. It's why we press the elevator button 5 times, thinking it'll arrive faster. It's why we cling to lucky charms, rituals, or routines, believing they somehow control the chaos. In truth, they don't change reality. They just calm our anxiety. One evening, after a long day, Ayaan's friend invited him to a poker game. "Come on, man, just for fun," they said. He hesitated. He hated unpredictability. But curiosity won. He sat at the table, heart pounding, as the dealer shuffled the cards. As the game went on, Ayaan started noticing patterns. He convinced himself that if he tapped his cards twice before placing them down, he'd win. And strangely, he did. 3 rounds in a row. His confidence soared. His chest expanded. "I've cracked the pattern," he thought. He believed his little ritual was bending probability. Then came the next round. He tapped twice. Lost. Tapped again. Lost. Tapped again and again, until he had nothing left but frustration and a trembling smile. Ayaan walked home that night, furious. He didn't lose money. He lost control. You see, the brain hates that feeling. We are wired for control. In a chaotic world, it's comforting to believe our decisions steer our fate. But that belief has a dark side. It keeps us trapped, obsessive, and sometimes even self-destructive. Weeks later, Ayaan's company announced layoffs. Rumors spread, panic grew. He tried everything: overworking, volunteering, showing up early, smiling too wide, as if good behavior could bribe destiny. The more he tried to hold on, the faster things slipped away. And one Friday, the inevitable happened. His name was on the list. He stared at the paper in disbelief. How? He whispered. He had followed every rule, every pattern. He did everything right. That night, he couldn't sleep. He replayed his routines: the socks, the roots, the headboard taps. None of them protected him. The world never promised him control. In 1975, psychologist Ellen Langer conducted a study at Harvard. She gave two groups of people lottery tickets. One group got random tickets. The other was allowed to choose their own numbers. Days later, when asked to sell their tickets, the chooser group demanded 4 times more money than the random group, even though both tickets had the same odds of winning. That's the illusion of control in action. The moment we make a choice, we start believing we have power. Our brain links decision with outcome, even when no such link exists. It's why people feel safer driving themselves than sitting in a plane. It's why managers micromanage. It's why we panic when things don't go our way. Because the illusion begins to crumble. A month later, Ayaan's illusion shattered completely. His father had a heart attack. The doctor said, "We'll do what we can." For the first time, Ayaan couldn't calculate, control, or predict. He could only wait. He prayed, he negotiated with fate. He even replayed his poker tapping ritual, just in case it somehow worked. As if anything he did in that waiting room could change what was happening inside that operation theatre. And in that sterile hospital corridor, surrounded by beeping machines and sleepless faces, Ayaan realized something he had never faced before. He was powerless. For hours, he sat in silence. Then, the doctor came out, smiled, and said, "He'll be okay." Ayaan broke down, not out of joy, but out of release. He realized how little control he'd ever had. And somehow, that was freeing. There's a strange peace in admitting powerlessness. When you stop forcing outcomes, you start flowing with them. That doesn't mean giving up. It means understanding the difference between influence and control. You can influence your preparation, but you can't control the result. You can influence kindness, but not how others treat you. You can influence your habits, but not the timing of fate. Once you accept that boundary, life stops feeling like a fight and starts feeling like a rhythm. Philosophers have wrestled with this question for centuries. Do we truly have free will, or is everything predetermined? If every neuron fires based on chemical laws, if every decision is a chain reaction of prior causes, then are we even making choices? Maybe our sense of agency, the feeling of "I decided this," is just the brain's post-production effect. Like a narrator claiming credit for a movie that's already been filmed. But here's the paradox. Even if control is an illusion, it's a useful one. Because without it, we wouldn't act, try, love, or hope. Illusion gives us motion, and motion gives us meaning. Weeks later, Ayaan visited his father, who was now recovering. They sat by the window as the afternoon light painted the floor gold. His father smiled and said, "You know, son, I used to think I could control everything. My career, your future, even this heart. But life taught me something. We don't steer the wind. We just adjust our sails." Ayaan smiled. For the first time, he didn't need to tap the headboard. He didn't need to plan tomorrow. He just sat there, breathing, existing, not in control, but finally at peace. We crave control because uncertainty feels like chaos. But maybe chaos isn't our enemy. Maybe it's just life, unfiltered. When you stop demanding certainty, you start noticing beauty in randomness, in failure, in imperfection. The truth is, we never truly control outcomes. We only control how gracefully we dance through them. So the next time life doesn't go your way, remember, Ayaan, remember, letting go isn't weakness, it's wisdom. If this story opened your mind, hit that like button, share it with someone who's fighting for control, and subscribe for more mind-bending stories that challenge the way you think. Because the more you understand the mind, the less it controls you.